Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking on a Gasteyer about American Auto on NBC. It's an honor and privilege to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, we love the workplace sitcom. We love the workplace sitcom. You know, the whole world kind of loves these and everything. I mean, it's a big question, but why do you honestly think we enjoy the workplace comedy?
That's an excellent question. I mean, I think there's an implied humanity to being stuck with people. Like there's this kind of like, we're all just stuck in the ark trying to make money.
Yeah.
The cruise ship of life. I don't know. So I think there is something to that. I guess family members can be just as complex, but a good workplace is a family. Essentially, it's found family, and it's a community of individuals who can have all sorts of different perspectives. And again, on a show like American Auto that I think does deal with so many topical issues, it's really helpful to have 7 diverse voices that are coming together to kind of see all the angles on something, and that makes for good comedy. Justin Spitzer does that really, really well. I think exceptionally well. Takes on deeply uncomfortable, deeply topical issues and lets a lot of people weigh all the different sides of it.
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, that was risky asking you that question, because I've asked that question before for other people on workplace comedies, and I've gotten answers like, well, because everyone has to work, and then it just kind of ended up stale. And it's like, that is true. Yeah. So it was risky.
Listen, I mean, it's a curious thing, because I don't know why people exactly relate to workplace comedies. I think The Office probably turned the tide slightly as to gone from the here's just a situation, here's just a setting, to an obligation. I think there's a sense of obligation at The Office brought to the half-hour workplace comedy, where people have kind of the unfortunate luck of working wherever they work, as opposed to the kind of unspoken excitement. But at American Auto, I think you're dealing with, again, it's a new kind of take on it, because I think there hasn't been a show that's set in the C-suite, particularly at this moment in time. Justin's talked about this coming from Superstore, where you're talking about like a minimum wage worker who are constantly at the mercies and the whims of the upstairs brass. And he wanted to write a show about the brass and what informs their decisions and what doesn't inform their decisions, and how blind they are to their power, wealth, and influence, and I think that could be a really unlikable premise. But I think in season 2, we managed to kind of, I don't know, come together as a group, and our individual humanity showed itself slightly more.
Yeah.
We're still making horrendous decisions on behalf of human beings, but I think whenever you have a little bit more of an us against the world attitude, the media, our customers, the stock price, the board, we have plenty of antagonists, and I think that helps.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's interesting to kind of add to that a little bit, especially in season 2. I really love a lot of the kind of soul searching and self-reflection a lot of these characters are doing.
Oh,
I mean, like
nice.
life, figuring everything out. I find it interesting as well, because during the pandemic, we were doing a lot of soul searching and self-reflection because we had the time to do so. So I feel like shows like American Auto become instantly more relatable because of that. So
That is such an amazing observation, and I've never heard anyone say it. I do think that there were a lot of Americans who hung around saying, do I want to work? Why do I want to work? What is the value of work? Why do I have to work? And similarly, on a corporate kind of identity level, we started asking more in the form of, taking a stand on X, Y, or Z social issue, confronting, power dynamics in the workplace, sensitivity training. Like there's a lot of things that have changed in the American workplace, and are still changing and are uncomfortable. And I think what I love about the show is that it's a very 2023 show. We don't talk about the pandemic, but we do talk about those issues, HR issues, workplace HR, having to watch the movie on workplace violence, all those things that feel very of the moment in a way. Even the episode, every season he seems to write one just like powerhouse social issues episode, and we wrote this episode about Payne's taking creating a workplace policy on out-of-state abortion and women's healthcare. And of course, the abortion policy is run entirely by men. That it all ends up being men on that committee that have to decide. And again, just a great observation in a way, without being political, of letting all these different points of view and voices come to the table. And that makes for really, 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 really potent and hilarious comedy.
100%. And I feel like you look at a show like this, I feel like, sometimes I feel like there's been kind of a flip switch with a lot of the social commentary and important kind of underlying undertones, serious undertones in comedies. But I look at all the ones that I watched growing up on, and there's always serious undertones to a lot of sitcoms and family shows. Like, I don't think it's anything new.
No, I mean, the Norman Lear model is that, right? That
Yeah.
we would take on differences of opinion. I mean, we live in a complicated, heterogeneous society. Like we argue. We don't have the same politics, So it's kind of fun to see a show that reflects that reality, because the fact of the matter is you're going to encounter that at any old workplace.
Did you always know that you were going to do a lot of different things in kind of the entertainment industry, like act, music, comedy, or did it kind of just happen? Because I feel like sometimes you want to do a lot of things, but I feel like sometimes it just kind of happens and it's beyond your control.
It's definitely out of your control.
Yeah.
I mean, that's no doubt. Entertainment is truly like the ultimate example of good fortune and hopefully meeting an opportunity when the timing is right. But I was trained as a singer, so I started as a singer. That's why I went to college as a vocalist. And so I think I didn't consciously know it, but I knew it was probably my first tool in my toolkit. And then I discovered improv very quickly thereafter. So I knew comedy would probably play out as well. But I wouldn't say that, like, when I packed my suitcase and moved to Los Angeles, I knew that I actually never thought I would. I hoped I would work on Broadway, but I never thought it was an option until well into my tenure at SNL.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it crazy still to think that, from a global perspective, you've been on so many incredible skits on Saturday Night Live that they're just kind of like always going to be around and always being quoted? Like that will never not get crazy, right?
That will never not get crazy. Saturday Night Live will never not get crazy for me. It's such, I mean, people say that, use that expression, lightning in a bottle, but it's such, I can't believe that I was on a show that is, and has been, and will be iconic. And it's just a cellular shift to be on a show like that. They're, especially now, it's even hard to conceptualize this, but like, to hit like a big network comedy, like a career changing, is almost impossible in this era. I mean, even when I got SNL, it was like, you could get Friends, maybe you could get, Will and Grace, but there weren't, because of streaming, because of cable, and because of the opportunities out there, there's so few shows like SNL that everybody can speak to, know, because it has a 50-year history. It's just you're built into this piece of American entertainment, legacy that I will never quite recover from, to be honest.
And SNL got me through a lot of tough times of bullying at school and everything. So I just wanted to say thank you for all the laughs, because
I'm glad to hear it.
We needed
by
those.
The way.
We really needed those. And people can check out season 2 of American Auto on NBC and Peacock as well, which is so exciting. Thank you so much for your time. It was so great chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad you liked the show.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.